Greetings, welcome back to the Car Doctor Studios. Well, today we got one here that we've seen before, these issues I should say. It's this one's an 05 Chrysler Town & Country. So this tip's going to apply to probably 01 through 07 Grand Caravans, Caravans, Town & Countries, maybe other products with the 3.3 or the 3.8 engine. This one came in because the customer's complaining of the fuel gauge reading a quarter tank and it running out of fuel. So that's a common problem and most times associated with a bad fuel tank sending unit, part of the fuel pump module in this case. Not sure if it can be serviced separately, but I usually put a pump in, especially with the mileage we got on this one. One thing to note is, there's a potential to save money here. You could possibly adjust the arm if that's going to improve your reading, but likely, the electronics in the sender are going to be at fault. So adjusting the arm may help for a little while, but it may crap out down the road. So, but I am going to try to confirm this. There's other possibilities, including BCM or wiring, of course. The gauge itself, far less common. So the first thing we're going to do is plug in the scan tool, and I'm going to read the fuel pump voltage PID. So let's see, we'll go in here. And an 05, I'm just going to enter manually, Town & Country. This is a 3.8 in this one. Well, let's see, is this in the instrument cluster? No. This is in the body control module, K25. Okay. Data. So right now he's got, let's see. Right now we've got a little over 3/4 of a tank reading on the dash, and I'm measuring 2.5 volts on the fuel level PID. Now, one thing to note, this doesn't refresh quickly. And even if you've corrected the problem or let's say replace the sender unit, you should clear everything by disconnecting the battery and touching the terminals together for at least 10 seconds so that the fuel level and gauge can relearn. It doesn't update real quickly, and you're going to want to relearn the fuel level. So anyway, I believe that's in line approximately with the value that's registering on the dash. So now we've got a couple ways to proceed and diagnose the level problem. One problem is that unless we can verify the actual level in the tank, we're guessing about some things, but there are some known resistance values that you should be getting out of the sender for the given different levels of the tank. 1,000 ohms when empty, and somewhere between 50 and 130 when it's full, and that's the ohms across the sender connections itself at the pump module with the connector disconnected. And then there's also, we can check that voltage signal through the BCM for the value there. If you disconnect it, that voltage should go to 9.5. And then if you ground the, with it connected, the dark blue and white wire, if you feed a ground into that, the voltage should go to 0. So if that's the case and that all checks out, check the black and dark blue ground wire at the fuel pump module for less than 50 millivolts. And if that all checks out okay, it's likely going to be the cinder. But, you know, really, unless you verify the level in the actual level in the tank, you're just going to be kind of guessing and winging it. But if those voltages don't check out right, then you got a wiring problem or a BCM connector issue or BCM itself. However rare that is, it is a possibility. But I'm probably going with the cinder unit, but I'm going to raise it up, go ahead and ground that dark blue and white wire, and check my voltage PID there, which should be 0, and then unplugging it, I should go up to 9.5. And if that all checks out okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop the module out, check the actual level of the tank, and probably condemn that puppy. Okay, let's see if we can ground the dark blue white wire. Just hope this is a good ground here. And I'm just going to back probe it and hope this is the right wire. Okay. Fuel levels down to 0.1, which I think is acceptable. So, given that my ground probably isn't all that great. So now we'll try to disconnect the cinder wiring and see where the voltage goes from there. And we are at 10.2. Okay, yeah, as long as the voltage is over 9.5 volts on that PID with the cinder disconnected, we're good there. Let's plug it back in. Hook up. My meter in place, ground the negative, back probe the black and dark blue ground wire. So I've got a complete circuit. I'm not back feeding. I've got a good ground. So I'm diagnosing the cinder as bad. We're going to replace it. Want to be sure to blow any dirt off the top of the module assembly with some compressed air. Make sure it doesn't contaminate the fuel pump or contaminate the fuel tank. Okay. Disconnect the connector at the pump. Disconnect the pressure line. Now remove the retainer ring. And the seal. So, you know, guys, use caution. We're working with fuel vapors and fuel. You don't want to use a incandescent light, you know, old school drop light or any form of ignition. You don't want to light up a cigar and celebrate just yet. But, you know, safety is the word of the day. The tank really should be completely drained. I didn't completely drain it, but it's got less than half a tank in here, so I know the reading up there is wrong. I would say maybe half a tank at best. So I'm going to replace the fuel pump module. I'm going to clean out this debris from the sealing surface. But again, you want to follow, you know, you got to follow the manual on removing and servicing fuel systems. You need to take proper measures to release the pressure on the system before you open it up. You know, I've removed the vapor lines and the fuel pressure line and the vent line before I dropped it down. I've got a great jack to support it. You don't want to end up dropping a fuel tank half full of fuel and having it spill all over. Just removing the fill pipe on the side of the tank is below that's at about the half tank level, or maybe a little above. But if you pull that filler net pipe off as you're dropping the tank, and it's got, you know, a tank of fuel, full tank of fuel in it, you're going to have gas spraying all over the place. You're going to take a bath. So try to avoid that and clean your surfaces off. Okay, here's the fuel pump module that I've purchased. I've got this through my aftermarket supplier. It is a Delphi pump. I mean, it's OE quality. I don't actually know if this is actual OE part, but I trust Delphi quality, and I'm not worried that I'm going to have to do this twice. So that's what I'm going to use to replace it with. So I'm installing the new replacement sealing ring. And then so when you get the module, it comes without the float arm installed, just to prevent damage or bending the arm, which would give you a wrong level. So I'm inserting it in the sender unit. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but don't worry, I don't think it'll crack when you're installing it. It snaps into place. I've never had one crack, and it looks like it's not bent or anything, so looks good. So I'm going to carefully reinstall it. I'm going to orient the fuel line pointing to where the old one was. It's kind of spring loaded, so you'll have to press it down there. And that's why it's important to have your tank supported well. Clockwise. Now, oh, what? What is going on here? All right, let's put this baby back up there. Okay, with the new pump in and the battery reconnected, we show a 4.7 volt PID for fuel level. And now the gauge is reading below half tank. So I do believe we have a success. Okay, that about wraps this one up. I can't stress enough that you want to be safe with any type of fuel system. Follow the manufacturer recommended procedures for removing the tank and replacing the fuel pump sender. And the car doctor is not responsible for anything should it occur if you follow this video. It's just for entertainment value. I mean, really. I hope you were entertained too. And I appreciate you for tuning in to the Car Doctor channel. Hope you got something out of it. And appreciate you subscribing to the Car Doctor channel. And I just appreciate you. I hope you have a great day. All right, have a good one.